It's Monday. And that means a new episode of Cosmic Crit. Yeah, no, I'm working on a song for later in the season. I just haven't gotten to it yet because times have been a little busy. Hi, everybody. Drew here to talk to you guys about a couple of little bits of information, namely, the fan challenge for April has winners. Yes, Bumfuzzle is going to have a ton of new trick attacks at his disposal, thanks to a few people, namely our winners, Phoenix Havoc, James W., and Clueless. Clue, with some truly fantastic trick attacks like, you know what? I can't tell you, because then it would ruin the surprise when they actually come up in the episodes. And I can promise you at least one of these has already come up in an episode since the last time we recorded. Now, our fan challenge for May is still going on. It's Monster Mayhem, so that you can design a monster that will feature in an episode of the show. The rules are all available on our website. You can also check them out on Discord. If you have any monster ideas you want to bounce off of folks, get some help with it, of course you can check out there. Beyond that, you guys know we have a fun Patreon, that patreon.com/cosmiccrit, and part of that is we do a monthly stream. Well, our stream is coming up this week. That's right, this Thursday, May 23rd. At some time in the evening. I believe it's 9 p.m. Eastern, but that time may get fudged a little bit. Might be 9:30. Things change, schedules change, but the easiest way to find it is, of course, going to our Discord, our Cosmic Crit Discord, and finding out all the information, all the announcements. Of course, we are also going to post that stuff on Twitter and Facebook as well. And of course, follow us at twitch.tv/CosmicCrit, and you can come hang out with us on Thursday. We are going to be playing some fun games together, and we definitely need some audience participation to help vote on some things. I don't want to say too much because I know we've got a better announcement than me coming up for that. So that about rounds it up for me today. In the meantime, we join our crew back in action. Cosmic Crit episode 85, The Royal Venture Brothers.
Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
When the crits roll, we'll roll them together. Told you I'd be your GM forever. We'll always be friends. Made a podcast. I'ma stick it out to the end. Now that the crit fails are falling together, know that we'll still have a re-roll with each other. Greetings, Crittermanders and Starfinders. This is Patrick, aka the GM here, and I want to take you all away, so please don't stop the music as we dive into another week of Cosmic Crit. Joining me tonight, standing under my umbrella, Ayla, are my 5 friends and your good girls gone bad. To my right, oh na, what's his name? It's Tyler playing Nikithi and his Dronitis.
Yeah, you got my name right.
Have I been saying Teeler all this time?
You didn't know? We've been recording this for a podcast. How did you not hear it?
To his right, she doesn't shine bright like a diamond. She darkens like a black cloud. It's Rebecca, rocking Talara.
Hello.
Across the digital table, he's only sorry because he got caught in a bear trap. It's Miles with a win. Good evening. To his right, he found love in a hopeless place. The Arquin family's bathtub. It's Shabert bringing Bumfuzzle.
Patrick, you make me feel like the only girl in the world.
And to my left, thank you. He's willing to put in the time to make his entropic strikes work. It's Drew running with Kaz.
The movie Battleship.
Oh boy, Drew. Just bring up the worst possible thing. You are the new Tyler here. I would have also accepted Valerian and the World of 1,000 Planets.
I forgot she was in that.
A much better movie.
Better movie, yeah. They didn't.
I still haven't seen it. I need to.
Didn't do good.
It's awesome.
Yes, it is. I will say that. But I mean, it's one of those things that's like, it's a sci-fi treat, even if the acting is kind of. I recommend
by no one.
I recommend our. What do you mean it's written by no one?
I mean, like it felt like no one wrote it. Like it was a bad script.
Oh, it's based on a comic book,
Right.
originally. But yes, I agree. It's good stuff for Starfinder inspiration because they got some great weird aliens in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of dope ideas in that film.
It's a French comic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Mobius, right? Hey guys, how are you doing? We're going on into a whole nother conversation. I forgot we're recording a podcast right now.
That's right.
Well, a different podcast than a conversation would have been on.
Yeah, no, let's spend this entire hour talking about failed sci-fi movies and their original source material. How are you doing? Oh boy, before we started recording, I was coughing up a storm, but I got a nice little throat lozenge and
your second wind.
Yeah, no, this honey and lemon's doing me right.
Nice.
Well, we don't have to pretend like we're friends outside this podcast. We can just get to the game as want.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh, good, Rebecca.
I'm not here to make friends.
Rebecca's like, I don't need friends.
Remember when we used to hang out outside of Cosmic Crit? Nope, never happened. Yeah, so let's get back into it. And a little refresher for ourselves and our listeners. What happened last time on Cosmic Crit?
We gathered around the door to the comm center and busted in the door ready for a fight. Standing in our way and ready for combat were two Azlanti soldiers.
When Talara turns the lights out, Bumfuzzle and the Azlanti soldiers crank the strobe lights, Wind does some fire spinning, Nikithi gets the lasers going, and Kaz drops the beat down. Best rave ever.
To free the mayor and other captured colonists, the crew goes up against their biggest threat yet, a 3-foot-tall desk.
After Master-at-Arms Olaraha taunts some unsavory things in Wind's direction, the Blue Bear bursts his head open like a melon with his junk sensor.
The crew makes it to the brig to find a bunch of colonists, including Mayor Madelon, but Sedona is in another castle.
I'll tell you what I dislike is level 2 PCs in this last game. Seeing you guys work as a team and stop me from killing Drew. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Had some interesting crit hit, a good crit fail. So we used a reroll last game. A lot of stuff happened. So this episode begins as you all are making your way out of the Azlanti garrison here at the center of Madelon's Landing. The prisoners you freed walk alongside you all. The wizened old Lashuntan Mayor Madelon kind of limping on his staff, and you see a Sharon colonist help support their human neighbor. And as soon as you open the doors to the outside, you hear gunshots in the distance through the fog, screaming, the sounds of Hobgars destroying electronics across the colony. But these gunshots are not all the sharp retorts of pacification rifles that the Azlanti use, because you also hear some small arms fire from a number of different weapons. Through the mist, Garaya Lee comes running up to your group. She's carrying an Azlanti rifle and sporting a huge wound along the side of her head. And she says, "We got the Azlanti on the run. We're taking back the city." Mayor Madelon moves up to her and starts to tend her wounds. What are you all doing at this time?
I do not know if Madelon's Landing qualifies as a city, maybe a village or small enclave.
So being pedantic, that's good.
The metropolis of Madelon's Landing. A giant skyscraper-filled capital.
I think we want to get the colonists, to somewhere safe. Clearly, out in the open is not safe. Should we take them back to Ibretta's?
Whoa, you didn't hear her. They're taking out the Azlanti occupation, and it sounds like the entire city, after you've stormed the garrison, are now fighting back. So as you walk forward, you see down one side street a group of colonists just in a circle around an Azlanti soldier that's on the ground, and they're just pummeling him with kicks. And further down the street by his house, you see Weldus Arquin by himself, just going to town on an Azlanti drone with what looks like a sporting bat, just cracking it open.
Great. So can we arm these colonists and get them out there fighting?
Yeah, and you can move around, help out where need be. It's only a few minutes, as you're spreading out along the town, that gunfire kind of falls silent. And about 10 or so minutes later, you can hear from all over colonists kind of shouting. They're singing, people calling out names, and everyone just kind of converges around you near the city's center, near the Hobgar trap, the warehouse. And as you walk over there, you see they've strung up one of the dead Azlanti kind of hanging upside down from the Hobgar trap's pole. And there are nearly 100 people here kind of celebrating out in the town center. Every once in a while, they're shooting like a gun up in the air in celebration. Yeah, it seems like there are no more Azlanti in Madelon's Landing.
Hooray!
You guys did it.
Good work, team.
You really did it.
Wind just roars in triumph.
There are a few kids that come out and they're just like patting you and kind of wrapping arms around each one of your legs. When
he gets on his back for some belly rubs.
Weird. But the rest of the town is hugging one another. Also, it's very happy. They start bringing out what meager food supplies, drink they have. You see them set up a couple of tables and chairs where they're tending to wounds. You see Fena Aeon as well there. A few colonists you see bring out musical instruments. They begin to play, and all of a sudden it's like a party. It's a full-on celebration. Multiple colonists begin shouting and kind of repeating, "Down with the Azlanti! Madelon's Landing is here to stay!"
I've got a thing that I would like to do. If somebody would like to join me, I'm going to go back to the ship and then bring it over here a little bit closer to the town and unload the supplies and really get this party going.
Well, the building still exists in the landing zone. There's nowhere large enough still. You can try and find a location closer to the city, but that'll take some time to do. That'll be a few hours.
Yeah, I'll just land it on top of the garrison. That's fine.
Just perch a gun precariously. Yeah, nothing bad could happen there. That sounds like a goblin move. No, but the celebrations continue on, and Bumfuzzle, if you are trying to get away, Ibretta finds you in the celebration and introduces you to an older man you've not seen before. Near 70, dark skin, grain hair. He has bad burn marks over his left hand, left side of his face and neck. And Ibretta says, "This here's Ludvar Kresk, a real son of a duve, but outside me, he's the only other real skilled engineer here. Helped me get the moisture collectors online when we landed. Anyway, he wanted to say thank you, Bumfuzzle."
Well, greetings, Ludvar. What was it?
Ludvar.
Ludvar.
She offers. He kind of nods and takes out a data pad and writes on it for a moment before flipping it around to you and just a note application. It reads, "We can't thank you enough. You need anything from me, I'm happy to help."
But of course. I'm just glad this isn't a bill for damages.
Ibretta chuckles and says, Ludvar here lost his voice a few years back in an accident and recently lost his voice box a few weeks ago to a danged Hobgar.
I understand. They can be quite vicious indeed. I'm sorry that we loosed a whole heap of them here in your town.
He writes some more on his data pad and shows it to you, and it reads, "Hobgars are literally the worst."
Aye, they are. Well, I will indeed keep your services in mind, sir. Should the need arise, I will call on you indeed.
You're like about to turn around when you kind of like have a flash of insight as you remember when you were up near the top of the Hobgar cage, seeing some kind of item inside, perhaps a technological item. Would you like to shimmy back up that pole now and take a look?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You can take 10 on this. It's pretty easy. People see you climbing and they're like, goblin. like you're going to jump off or something and launch.
Yeah.
So that's a 16. That'd be a 16 if I take 10 to get up there.
There are rungs on each side of it, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You climb past the Azlanti body that's kind of strung up like a piñata, and inside You see a small figure, and it's not a piece of tech you see, but what looks to be an infant hobgar huddled towards the back of the cage. Its back towards you.
Ah, I see. Does it live?
You see its kind of back rising and slowly falling back down.
Well, I will. I sort of like look around and I sort of make a big show out of like, I climbed to the top. I'm the best. And then I sort of, I imagine that a infant hobgar is quite small, like maybe about the size of my hand or something.
It's like a little baby kitten.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put that in my vest. I'm like, I'm at the top of the pole. Stuff.
I mean, you're like 30 feet up. I don't think anyone can see if you're trying to be quiet about it. But as you kind of drag it across, it gives little resistance. But it seems most of the resistance is it's hanging on to indeed a very small tech device, which you recognize as a highly sophisticated voice box.
Oh, this is what I remember, not the infant hobgar. I understand.
Yeah, you saw something up here, but you maybe thought it was part of the cage at the time.
Right. Well, I picked them both up. I picked them up with up. I won't separate them just yet, but I'm gonna put the little infant hobgar in my pocket, and with the voice box, and then climb back down, and sort of as the festivities are going on. Is this thing big enough to like survive in the wild right now, or is it like absolutely not?
It is completely defenseless. As when you touch it, it tries to do, an electrical discharge attack, and it's more akin to what you would get from rubbing your feet on a carpet.
I see. Yeah. I'll give it a battery to suck on, and then try to replace that with replace the voice box with that, and then sort of like nestle it into my pocket with like probably the one with like the pocket that has lots of leaves in it, so it's so nice and cushiony.
Wait, do you just collect leaves?
I mean, you never know. I never know when I'm gonna need leaves.
Wait, are you going to offer the voice box guy that needs a voice box?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna wash it first, but like,
okay,
yeah.
I thought you were just hoarding the voice box, even though you just met a guy who could really use that.
What if I lose my voice? I'm gonna want this.
Yeah, geez Louise.
Yeah, so I will
when it rains.
So walking through the festivities, sort of gingerly avoiding people on my right hand side. I'm sort of looking up and trying to. It's hard to see where people are with all these tall people around. But so I search around for a little bit until I find Ludvar.
Ludvar Kresk. Yeah.
Ludvar Kresk.
It's a medium person's world for a small creature.
I'm just a small space goblin in a medium person's world.
Yeah, it's a few moments later when you find him, you can hand over the voice box. And do you want to help with the installation?
Sure. Yeah. I'll rub it on my shirt first.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like something he's done before, but he's got kind of,
it's hard to see when, like, on your throat. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it plugs right in. It was specifically designed for kind of like the shape of his throat. He does a few vocal tests, hums a few bars, as it were, and then says in his own just slightly digitized voice, "Thanks, partner. Letting them hobgars out probably saved this little piece of tech. I usually run the trap out of town a few times a week and let the little guys scamper off, load them up on one of my hover trikes, send them out back into the jungle to their tribes."
So how did they get a hold of your voice box then?
Well, I fall asleep every once in a while on the job, and they'll sneak in and take anything not nailed down.
I see. So just to be clear, you didn't fall asleep on top of the pole.
That'd be mighty uncomfortable.
I imagine it would. But but if so, we need to study athletics together, sir.
I work out of the stable, east side of town. If you and your crew need anything, you just let me know. It's a garage for the trikes.
Indeed.
Were you indeed wanting to go back to the ship?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sir, if I could, a trike might be helpful indeed in getting the remaining supplies here to the colony. After all, that's what we were contracted to do. Yes.
He'll talk with you for a bit and says a few things to Ibretta and Madelon. But he comes back over and says, yeah, it'll be hard to pull some of the youngins away from this party here, but Ibretta let them know it's going to be going on all night. If you want to take a couple of lads out with the trikes and load them up, I'm sure people will be pretty darn happy. Got lots of good hooch in the shipment.
Indeed you do, sir.
I didn't drink it all on the way here.
Right. And there's still a third of it left.
They set that up, and he does that thing in the movies where you're already on top of the hover truck and he tosses you the keys. It's like, bring it back in one piece, goblin.
All right, I do a wheelie out of there
on a hover truck. I do a no wheelie.
I do like a backy, I guess, where like I just scrape the back as I'm going away.
Right. So you are off.
Whee!
The celebration indeed lasts for multiple hours into the night. They set up a large kind of fire pit in the middle of town, bring out generator lights to illuminate the town's center. Let's see. When Ibretta comes up to you and says, "You all did it. I don't know how we're all standing, but you all managed to beat back these danged Azlanti."
Well, we try to make good on our promises.
Oh, I'll say. You all just rolled into town a few days ago, starship residue behind your ears, and whipped the dang Star Empire. I imagine you're all pretty dang pleased with yourselves, and you with your crew, of course.
I couldn't be prouder. Especially towards the end, we really came through like a team.
Once we got to level 2.
Yeah. Hey, details.
When you also see Weldus Arquin roaming around the festivities with a half-empty bottle of synthetic alcohol, and he kind of locks eyes with you and says, "You're a weird, tall, fuzzy creature, but you all saved my life."
I think you might have had enough there, son.
Tell your friend he could sleep in my bathtub. I got a blanket and pillow and everything in there for him.
Are you referring to the goblin?
Whoever. Probably not you, but the other people can.
So Win is just gonna kind of carefully just kind of yoink his bottle away from him.
You all see a few colonists bringing out Corsica Weldis, his mom, and Jellic Folson. They bring him out on stretchers, and you watch as Dr. Iani and Mayor Madelon kind of lay hands on them and apply some bandages, and you see the wounds in Jellic's abdomen kind of healing up a little more properly, where he was nearly executed earlier. You then see Jellic offer up his cred stick, and the colony's administrator kind of places it into his staff, and a little receipt prints off the top. After he's done, Mayor Madelon sees you. Talara kind of moves up to you. What's Talara doing in the party?
I think she's having a good time. She's probably partaking in some libations. Why not, right?
You get a demon, and you get a demon. Just some of them left. Right? I've got so many spells left. Do you have spells left? That'd be hilarious.
I have 2. So yeah, I could summon some demons.
Who wants to see a demon for a few seconds?
I could summon a water elemental for a mixer.
Oh my goodness.
Go with the whiskey.
He's like screaming in Aquin, like, please no. But yeah, Mayor Madelon chats you up and says, "My girl, are you injured? Did you make it out of there okay?"
Yeah, we did pretty well, don't you think?
I would say so. You should get a commendation. But as Abadar teaches us, we must make the most out of what we're given to make profits, to maximize that which is possible in the world. Do you feel like you're maximizing your potential?
Yeah, I could maximize my profits a little more, but to tell you the truth, don't spread this around. I trust you, Madelon. I kind of feel something for the underdog. It's been kind of fun working for these colonists. I've got a soft spot for them.
And we for you. He starts talking about Abadar more. He seems to be proselytizing a bit. And as he pontificates, you see across the square here through the festivities, very quietly, Ibretta just leaning down at the side of Jellic, and the two of them talk for just a moment and then begin to hold hands and not really saying anything, just kind of sharing the moment with one another, watching as everyone else celebrates. This might send you back a bit into your memories just before you met Sedona, something we saw briefly when we met Talara, but you're back in a pack steward's interrogation room, still sporting some wounds from combat, cuts and bruises and the like, and you have a bandaged laser blast that kind of grazed a leg. And you're sitting there just kind of hunched over the desk. This pendant around your neck droops and swings slowly forwards and back, and it seems like an eternity before the door suddenly opens and a female pack officer comes in and gives you a probably fairly practiced speech.
My name is Depordra Ivosco. Listen, we caught you red-handed in that gang shootout, so this is more a matter of professional courtesy. I could have you shipped off for sentencing in a heartbeat, and clear my schedule for the rest of the day, but I had a feeling that this conflict was a little more complicated than that. Am I right? Now, you're a smart-looking woman. You wouldn't be running with the Parsil crew, or the Northern Alliance, so my guess is you're just the middlewoman type. Well, whether you're a courier, or smuggler, or whatever you call yourself. Both you and I know that it's a hard line of work for a loner. If you want to live a long life, or at least retire with all your limbs, then maybe it's time you consider a new job. Or at least getting some backup when you're dealing with mobsters like these. That's just one steward's opinion, of course. I've seen your type before. Chip on your shoulders so big it's in multiple space quadrants. I have seen a number of women like us left for dead because we were too stubborn to let somebody else in. Still, if you're ready to talk, my door is open. But I warn you it's closing fast. If you want to flip on either side and turn Pack Council witness, I can get you out of this life. Maybe give you bare minimum time in a cushy prison cell. I'll let you talk it over with your council before letting me know what direction you want the rest of your life to take. I hope we understand each other, Talara.
You kind of shake that memory away. Rebecca, what is Talara thinking about? What was it like for her when she was a pirate?
Not great, not great. She has a lot of painful memories from her time as a pirate, especially as she was leaving. And she works for herself, or has up to this point. This is really the first time that she's worked as a team in a really, really long time. Mm-hmm. So this has been sort of an emotional experience, I suspect, for her, thinking back on the fact that she was never accepted before. And to be thrown in this group where nobody has really questioned her. At least she hasn't been shown the disdain that she would have expected. So,
I mean, you're kind of the least weird person in this party, so they can't really ostracize you for for horns and red skin and things like that.
Yeah, that's fair. Talara has a tendency to kind of ostracize herself, though. So, I think her attitude can be off-putting to people, and so it's probably kind of throwing her off that people aren't necessarily treating her in the way that she would have expected. So
yeah, even the colonists here, now that you're seeing tons of new faces, they come up and they'll shake your hand and kind of give you those, one pat side hugs. How do you think she's adjusting to the rest of the crew?
I think she hates to admit it to herself, but kind of likes them. I think she really likes Idis and Nikithi by proxy.
I was about to say that's not fair. It's like loving the robot dog.
Yeah. Well, I think that's natural, especially if you're not one to make human connections very often. But No, I think she's got a lot of respect for them, despite the fact that she may not always show that. I think she's still got her guards up, but definitely has a soft spot for her crew, and also for the colonists. Like I said to the mayor.
So he'll chat you up as long as you want. You can politely excuse yourself whenever you like. Just imagine me talking to you for like an hour or two at a party. It would get old pretty fast.
Yeah. That's nice and all. I'll check out the Abadar, whatever, some other time. I'm gonna go over here by the fire. See you later.
He has so many pamphlets and brochures of like Abadar core timeshares to sell you on.
Oh.
He's like, I can get you a nice shipping container on the other side of the colony. As you move away from him, you all watch as the colonists kind of set to pick through the garrison. You see them stripping it of confiscated weapons and tech, bringing it outside. You also see many of them tear down the propaganda posters off the walls and just kind of chuck them into the now massive bonfire towards the center of this jubilee. They give you all pick from the weapons, and you guys can do like a little gun show table. Folks will come up to you and kind of exchange credits and hand over UPBs thanking you for your help. Bumfuzzle comes back with multiple supplies a few hours later, and everyone sets to kind of unpacking them, and there's like an ant chain that loads them into the warehouse.
I made sure to bring back all the steel slats first. Whee! Party!
Steel slats?
Oh yeah. I mean, I imagine they need, steel for construction and stuff like that. And so, and if you want to get down with a party with Bumfuzzle, there's going to be some construction involved.
Okay, so it's like, let's raise a barn. Yay!
Right.
That's how the Amish do it. We move a little while later inside the garrison, and Kaz, we see you kind of walking through the now artificially lit hallways here, while everyone else is outside carousing, singing songs. And we see Kaz just kind of mindlessly walking through the barracks, these neatly arranged rows of beds and trunks. I don't even think you guys got to explore this when we went through the garrison the first time. But now that the townsfolk of Madelon's Landing have ransacked the private footlockers and beds of the Azlanti and left these trunks with their hinged lids open, Kaz, as you're walking past them, you kind of feel a shiver rising up your spine, and you bend down to pick up one of the lids of these trunks and slowly close it. The left lid has the green insignia of the Star Empire, one you've seen marked on countless pieces of Azlanti armor and weapons you've come across during the occupation. But as your right hand moves across the raised symbol on the hinged lid, you feel electricity running through your veins, like your innate danger sense, your body kind of reacting as if you were bracing for a hit. And you recognize it as the mystic energy of the vanguards ready to surround and defend your body. For as you flip this lid closed, you see another sigil here, another Azlanti sigil, and all at once the feeling kind of dissipates. This sigil is more ornate and delicately sketched. It seems familiar. Your mind races to a few brief flashes of memories you have before Sedona found your nearly dead body. And we're back in time, back in your memories, and we find ourselves in a nearly identical set of barracks like this one here in the garrison, but much longer. You could see it probably hold 100 Azlanti. And you're looking at the same kind of style footlocker, the same house markings on the right side. And you know that this is the symbol of House Ulavestra. You see kind of flashes of different Azlanti faces, other soldiers, and then all at once a calming and clearing feeling overcomes you as the voice of your Kasathan master once more enters your mind. And this is very much like a mind meld between the two of you. It seems like there's some kind of interruption whenever you're racing back in your memories. And Master Joran says, "Let these memories go. They are but impediments to your true training. Divergent paths that lead to untruths, clouds for your judgment. This happens a good deal once you kind of think back before Sedona. And you've, in your training, done a lot of mental kind of sharpening of your mind and things like that with Master Joran. And towards the beginning of that training, a lot of it was just calming your rage, calming like the things inside of you that make you want to kind of go off the rails. Go on, I imagine Kaz isn't very hot under the collar. They seem like a pretty relaxed dude.
I think he tries to, but as we've seen, when things don't go his way in combat, he gets a little angry and sometimes takes it out on on the enemy and sometimes on himself.
Is being the best in combat very important to Kaz?
I think it's not necessarily being the best in combat, but not looking a fool, not looking like he doesn't know what he's doing, that he is trained and to make a simple mistake seems beneath him.
Most of what Master Joran kind of trained you on was, there's obviously a lot of physical training, but the ability to shake pain away from your mind, I think that is what makes up a lot of Kaz's constitution score. Is like mental fortitude that you can take punishment. That's kind of what SP is in this game. It's just like shaking off, getting shot. So all of a sudden you open your eyes, you're back on Nacondas. You can smell the campfire outside, and your right hand is clutching the lid of the trunk so tightly, and there's like little acid etched handprint from where you're holding it. And standing in the doorframe behind you is none other than Nikithi Berendir, with Ida slowly undulating next to him, kind of giving the appearance that it's breathing, but just moving back and forth. How are you, Tyler?
Oh, I am doing great. Thanks, Patrick.
How is Nikithi during these celebratory times?
He's upset. I think he has spent the majority of time back in the comm center in the garrison. He is impatient. He wants to go after Lieutenant Sharu immediately. He thinks these festivities are a waste of time and resources. This rune drive gambit, or this rune drive.
Please don't reference the third book.
Sorry. This rune drive that we kind of got some information on is concerning him greatly. It weighs on him extremely heavily, and he is desperate to make sure that the information, that technology doesn't make it off this planet.
Do you voice that to Ibretta and Mayor Madelon at this time? Like, are you telling them, like, we need to...
Yeah, it would have been like the first thing he wanted to talk about when the city was secured.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, they're obviously like the first thing. They take a lot of time making sure everyone's okay, and then, doing some accounting for people, see who has died since and things like that. But eventually, you can go up to them and make your case, and they indeed do call a meeting and ask you to go find everyone, including Kaz, and bring them into the communication center of the garrison for a talk. And this is you walking in on Kaz to bring him to this meeting, and you just watch him stare down at this sigil for the better part of a minute.
Are you feeling unwell, Kaz?
After our conversation, I have been reflecting. This room, this chest, it brings back memories that I didn't know I had. Just flashes, nothing more. I'm fine. Let us divert our attention to things that matter more. We have more important things to talk about. This battle was won today, but the war is far from over.
I agree. I am glad to hear you are feeling optimal, but if you are ever in need of counsel, I would be happy to lend you a ear, as would Idis. And Idis looks at
work. I'm Idis. It's canon now.
Oh no.
No, yeah, you can watch as Kaz walks past you, and if Nikithi takes a look, you recognize the sigil as well as House Ulavestra. Not anything you've really seen in person, just maybe on some documents or something at your Black Site lab years ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you all read this name Ulavestra and the communications between the Des Azlanti Master at Arms Olaraha and this Lieutenant Sharu. They seem to be taking orders from a Sardat, which you know to be a kind of Azlanti noble, Sardat Ulavestra.
Would I know maybe comparing the different houses, of Azlanti nobles? Would I know how House Ulavestra stands amongst the others?
No, I mean, you can give me a culture check if you'd like, but you don't have too much. I guess one-on-one interactions with them. There were some bigger ones, and you don't recognize Ulavestra as really a big name, I guess.
Gotcha.
Do you have culture?
No, it's not trained.
Yeah, so it's definitely something like maybe you're kind of tangentially aware of. Like if I were to ask Tyler, the player, who is the Prime Minister of Portugal, you'd be like, oh, well, let me tell you that in just a few moments.
Yes. Sounds right.
But yeah, like me, I don't know that either. I'm sorry, Portugal listeners. Somehow you've seen this before, this crest, but Kaz, you too remember it, the house crest from somewhere in your past. Everyone can gather up. The party is still going outside, but it's quieting down, and you see multiple people walking into the garrison. Ibretta and a few other kind of townsfolk walk inside with you, invite you into the command center, and ask you to shut the doors behind you. You see Garaya Lee, bandage on her head, Faina, Iani, and Mayor Madelon produces here from his robes a data pad and hooks it up to the garrison's holographic display. And he starts and says, "Crew of the Phoenix's Respite, Captain Wynn, we wanted to thank you for everything you've done. I believe that you indeed have fulfilled your contract with Abadar Corps now, and as such, it is my honor to transfer over to you, as mayor of this colony, the sum total of 5,000 credits. We'll have people throughout the day unloading the trikes and get those supplies where they're needed across the town."
Sir, before our business is concluded here, I feel we would not have truly completed our contract without first seeing to the whereabouts of Sedona.
Ibretta pipes up. It's like, well, of course, we got more pressing matters to attend to. It seems by those communications you found that there are still Azlanti forces here, including this Lieutenant Sharu. They've taken Sedona, most likely out to that wreck of an old starship,
which we now know the name of, Royal Venture.
Right. Well, I mean, we got other problems here. Garaya Lee kind of pops up and says, "Don't forget about their ship. The Barazad is still out in the system somewhere. If they come back and can't raise the garrison, I worry they might just send down another occupation force. Who knows how many they have? And if they see all these Azlanti dead, they might just start killing folk."
There is a weapon platform on top of this garrison. Do you have control of it?
Yeah, but I mean, I imagine they'd have the firepower to take out their own weapons platforms. Who knows how big that ship is?
Then I might anticipate and create a means of escape should the worst happen.
Madelon kind of throws his hands up. It's like, well, let's just, before we get to that, let's deal with this. From the communications, it seems like they know that Sedona had this ancient ship figured out, and I'm worried they might be moving whatever tech it was they were looking for, as well as her off of planet. She has many hats here in the colony, but among them, she's an expert in ancient technologies. It seems in a past life, she studied artifacts of Triune on a place called the Alluvion.
Yes, no, we cannot allow her to be taken off planet.
He furrows his brow, and both his mustache and his antennae kind of twitch back and forth. He says, "Well, why we wanted to speak with you all. It's fairly simple. I mean, if anyone here stands a chance of rescuing her and taking out this Lieutenant Sharu, it's It's the 5 of you.
I owe Sedona a great deal. I feel honor-bound to plan a rescue mission.
Ibretta just kind of leans forward and nods and says, she's that kind of android, I guess. But what we'd propose is this. While you all head west towards this crash site, we'll send our town north to work on your ship. We can disassemble parts of the garrison and help with some upgrades and make sure the Phoenix's respite is ready if this Barazad comes back in the meantime.
That sounds fair.
Patrick, how far away is this ship that we're going to right now?
Like everything is just a matter of a few miles.
Okay, so like a couple days hike, something like that.
Oh no, I mean less than that. It's at most probably 4 miles or 4 hours to get out there. But you, having just come back from a trip on the hover trike, know that you could make that even faster, less consequential if you want to try that.
So we could drive, and it would be like maybe an hour's drive or something.
It's a little faster. There's no like roads or anything, so you just kind of have to make your way around hills and trees and things of that nature. But
it's like an ATV. It's like a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, maybe even a little easier because you're not actually touching the ground.
Right.
You just you can't like let the throttle out because you'll destroy yourself like a speeder on the forest moon of Endor.
I have a question actually about this. So we've been partying and we've been resting. What is our HP RP situation right now?
I mean, you guys haven't taken a 10-minute rest since the party, unless you tell me to. But if you want to gain back spells and HP, you guys can take a nap and kind of move out first light.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
I think that's a good idea.
Yes.
I am in unison with you in saving Sedona, but I will tell you my first priority will be to make sure that the technology does not leave this planet.
I agree, and it may be that we can find something on this crash ship to help us with the Azlanti orbiting.
As you're talking amongst yourselves, Madelon is kind of Minority Report computer, like moving the holographic map above your guys' heads and positioning it so you can see Madelon's landing and a little like family circus dotted line out west. I'll give you this data pad. It is yours. It is a gift of Abadar Core. It has on it the coordinates for the Royal Venture crash site. The signal jammer's down, thanks to you all, so we might be able to keep in contact, though there will be interference that far out with the fog here on Nakandis. But you might still be able to get a message or two through. But with this map, you can get out there in a few hours or so on foot or take the trikes. Does that sound like a plan?
Anything that gets us there faster would be appreciated.
Ibretta says, I've put an aid request to our Abadar Core backers, told them what happened, but it takes weeks to get the message out and weeks to get a response back. Out here in the vast, we got to rely on ourselves and our neighbors. You all ready?
Before we head out, can I try to hire some healing in town?
How many hit points are you down?
I'm down about 9.
Ooh, I am too, now that I look at it.
So
yeah, in addition, if you want to buy some healing serums, because Mayor Madelon is so impressed with you guys, he will give you half cost heals.
Wow.
25 credit, basically healing serums.
Great.
While you're in his presence, so he's like kind of channeling his mystic ability through you all.
Okay.
So feel free to heal as much as you want. Buy some supplies as well.
Wait, I'm sorry. He's a mystic and he's healing us?
He is offering to sell you heals. Nice try, Drew.
Alrighty. I'm feeling much better now.
What'd you roll?
I rolled 2 5s on that. So
okay. So yeah, basically more than you can get with a single healing serum.
Yeah. It was a pretty good bargain as far as I'm concerned.
He is very happy to make that transaction.
I shake his hand with my tiny little goblin hand.
Madelon, I'm grumpy about that, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, Madelon, why'd you give him the bad heels?
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 4 and a 1. Yeah.
Ah, you only look half as good as I do.
I cannot say the will of our god, but
She must just want Kaz dead. I don't know.
you're probably were a cheapskate in another life, so that's your recompense. Praise Abadar.
So we are sleeping, right? So I get my spells back.
Yep. You guys can take a quick nap here, and you actually probably have time to cut out before dawn.
Is this? Sorry, I always forget. Do we get all of our RP back?
All RP, all SP, and your level and HP.
Great.
Oh, that's not so bad then, with the crappy heals from...
You roll them yourself.
Better I roll them than you roll them, though, I guess.
I don't know. Let's see if I rolled them. A little better, yeah. Rolled a 1 and a 7. Nice and average. Let's get into it. So it's the next morning, and you see crews getting your hover trikes ready, freshly unloaded from getting the Phoenix's respites, Phoenix respites stuff. Ludvar Kresk kind of oiling bits of the engine, and you see him turning some nuts and bolts on top. And you guys are ready to start your trek out to the crash site. And like every morning you've been here on Nakondas, it is a fog-filled morning. It's thickest, definitely dawn and dusk. And you begin traveling through a beautiful mix of ancient trees and several areas of new growth. One moment you're walking through or riding through these trees that seem to be less than a decade or so old, and you can see signs of disease and lightning strikes that might have felled some older ones. And then the next moment you're traveling through a section of the forest of behemoths nearly 20 foot around and more than likely centuries old. And when you've got to have like a trike by yourself, and it kind of, I imagine, looks a little clown carish with you.
Like it's a medium-sized like steering wheel. You're just sort of hunched over it.
Just a finger and thumb and 10 and 2. As you're riding through these very zenful locations, you kind of relax, get to a peaceful place, and kind of once more step back into your past. Your psychic bear brain just recreates this area around you as you're still in control of the vehicle, and you're the, I guess, maybe more mammalian part of your brain is driving. But around you see this team of Xenowardens years prior in a very similar arboreal setting. There are lush green trees that surround you, but they don't go very far, for as you look above their tops, you see the void of space. And we're back at your initiation rites aboard the living ark ship called the Seed's Promise. Before you is an ancient Goran, a plant-based race, a master, his face nearly white. There's only a few places where the hues of his once blue visage kind of peeks out. He's got these long green dread-like tendrils that kind of connect his head almost to the mossy carpet beneath you. And this is one of the many teachers you've had in your life, but the Xenowarden apostate Harteen. You hear him as clearly now as he did back then, just kind of perfect recall. And he says to you,
"Through this forest there lay many paths. None of them can I show you. Only you may discover, for they lie in the deep forest as you make your way through. But what I can tell you is this. Inside each of us is the capacity to become one with the universe, to become a defender of life, and to become a star knight of all that is green." when you stand here before us, a new initiate, but you have espoused all that we hold dear. Protect the wild spaces at any cost. Value the plants above all else, and to never let those despoil what we love. As I said, I cannot show you how to find your own path, but when the time is right, you will show yourself. You may rise one day and find you are indeed that which was foretold here at this hour, a hero of our brethren across the cosmos. And you will, on that day, earn the titles of Sir Win of the Hexen Way, Green Guardian of the Stars, and Wild Knight of the Worlds.
I will do my best to bring you honor.
You've replayed that memory several times and shake it out of your head now. But it seems like since you've been on Nacondas, there is like an energy here. And it's not just like the electricity and the fog, but it is truly one of the greenest worlds that you've ever stepped foot on. It seems like that energy is really finding root inside your mind, your soul, whatever it may be that's driving you forward. But how's Wynn taking this? We're moving, or you've started him down the Star Knight path.
Well, since you set foot on the planet, he has felt more centered. You know, from the first time he recalled the just two paws on the ground and feeling a little more in tune with, I suppose, the energy of natural life. You know, it's this thing that he has sworn to protect, and I think being in metropolitan cities and in space, he feels a little more disconnected. I don't want to say spiritually, but within himself. And so I think being on the planet, I think he's finding a inner strength kind of returning to him. His sense of purpose is becoming a little more clearer to him.
We haven't really talked much about the archetype of Star Knight, but there's not really specific ability for knights of kind of like the Xeno Warden school, at least not in the rules yet.
Right.
Do you see what kind of power might manifest? Because other Star Knights in the rules do have like mystic qualities to them. Is Wynn just going to start talking to plants?
I was going to say I would think it would be really cool if he could communicate with the plant life.
Hello, Mr. Bumblebee. Oh, Mr.
Well, maybe not go on full on Baloo here, but
you can just psychically talk to them now.
But it would be kind of cool if he could. Maybe he could, even if he tasted a blade of grass or something, like maybe he could kind of get something from the area. Like he could kind of communicate with the earth. Or
you've heard him here, folks. He's just eating grass like every mile or so. He's taking a paw fill.
But you know what I mean? Like you kind of get something from the nature itself.
Yes, and there's some cool stuff with different types of Star Knights. Oh, we're gonna be homebrewing our own when it comes to it. If you keep down this,
I think that'd be really cool.
So yeah, you kind of shake that memory aside, and you're back here, and you see the rest of your crew on a couple other hover trikes, and just kind of I guess hold the steering wheel a little tighter and move forward.
Has a little honk honk, and just goes ahead.
It's not long, less than an hour before you come across where the venture is supposed to be. You guys don't really see anything. You have to make a few circles around, but if you get off and start exploring this area, you walk past it a few times before you find what looks like just another regular kind of silent hillock. But cresting over the other side, walking around and peering through the mists here, you realize it's not a natural formation, but there's like a layer of earth and plants just built up over the side of a man-made object. Actually, let me show you there's multiple pieces of art in the book, but
oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's very cool.
All right, I realize you don't get all the cool art. I've not shared every piece with you from prior books. I feel bad now, but it's all got the like iconics and stuff in it. And Some of it like spoils fights, so I can't really show you that until like after the fight, and then I always forget. So
That's understandable.
like, here's you fighting Null 9. It's like, all right, well, yeah, great. Walking through some of the vines and other hanging plants, it kind of looks like a cave, but you notice it's just like the overhanging top wing section of a starship, and you recognize kind of like the curvature of its hull, and skirting just above the ground about a foot is another ancient wing whose tip just kind of plunges into the dirt. While you guys are looking around, why don't you give me a perception check?
Wow, that's a lot of 15s.
It's a couple of 10s, couple of 15s.
Let's see who's the highest, who's the most perceptive.
I think it's
multiple 15s here. Kaz and Nakithi. As you're taking a look at the ship, I don't know if you are both trained in engineering, but you can see it has indeed crashed hundreds of years ago at the very least.
Kaz has no engineering, so he does not know that.
You just got a sense that this is a very ancient structure. It's almost been swallowed by time and the forest. And Nakithi, you see a few destroyed exhaust ports kind of caked with dirt and plants. But the vessel kind of disappears past that about 30 feet into the hill. So if there is more of the ship, it is indeed completely buried. But the metal you do see exposed here is corroded and covered in wear and tear, and patches of it have this thick, creeping moss you've seen all over Nakondis. But yeah, through all that, you do see what looks like a hatch or a portal of some sort. You can tell that a path has been cut clear through the foliage recently. In addition to that, you both see some upturned earth underneath this wing on the bottom here. It looks like a pair of Azlanti boots with legs sticking out from beneath the wing.
Wait, upturned earth with boots sticking out of it?
Upturned earth, and right next to it, some boots. So it's kind of like the Wicked Witch of the
Okay,
East.
This is the mental image I had, which makes it seem like the ship landed on the Azlanti.
No, these boots are brand new. It's a recently killed body, or someone just taking a nap.
Are they ruby Azlanti boots?
Nope, just regular ones that you've seen on a ton of the soldiers in Madelon's Landing.
Nakithi will them out and would probably say, "We might want to consider a stealthy approach."
Yeah, I was just going to suggest, I want to try to creep up and peek and see if that's somebody taking a nap.
No, they're dead. If you're looking at this, it is indeed a body. Does anybody have medicine check? Because they're like coated in blood, dirt, and things like that. Maybe some cobwebs.
Yeah, I do. Oh, never mind.
It's a 19 for Kaz.
Kaz with the big med.
Yeah, Kaz, you see it looks like dozens of maybe small cuts, like little stab wounds, but actually looks like they're in a couple of patterns that look almost like a bite, like jaws of some unknown beast. And it's at that point where I need, obviously, everyone to get ready for some initiative rolls.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's fight something.
No! Yes, it is indeed time. As you guys, I've put you here on the map close to this wing and the dead body. Those of you that was trying to make some rolls on it to see what had killed it. And as you're looking there, squirming from beneath the wing, from one of these little areas of upturned earth, is a brownish worm-like creature emerges from the ground here and starts whipping a tongue-like appendage out at you, spreading out into several branching sections. It looks just like this guy here. Pwomp.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You might recognize this guy from some previous conversations.
Oh, no, that's the one Patrick made. No, he's going to kill us with it. No.
I hope you're ready for a bit of a fight.
Patrick, why'd you make that worm so slimy?
Did not draw it.
It has so much goop coming off of it.
Yeah, there's no way in your descriptor you weren't like, oh, by the way, like double down on the goop factor.
Just
Make it goopy.
I want Gak crossed with the slime that kids are playing with these days, but I want to bathe in it. But it's like a worm, like a slug-like creature. So it's gotta be juicy.
We are related.
Big, juicy slug.
It's your new best friend. Get out of here, Itis. I'm making one of these things.
Nikita, talk to it. You look very similar.
I do not know if I can talk to it, but I can try to identify it with life science.
Yeah. Well, first you're getting attacked by it, so you'll a very good idea of what it can do. As you guys have not seen this thing stealthing through the dirt underneath your feet. Very difficult perception check. And so as it pops out, you see its tongue just hit the ground, like it's licking it, but it kind of sticks to the ground and it arcs out. The tongue just kind of shoots forward like a sticky web that covers the starship and the earth around you. And as it races along the ground, it begins to wrap around your feet and kind of shoot up your legs, crawl into your armor. And it's this guy's fun ability. And this affects a 15-foot cone, so we are going to get,
I don't know, Patrick. I'm not sure that the author really intended for this monster to work this way.
I think. I wrote this up, and I didn't know it would be in the adventure, but I love where they placed this. It is like a little ambush creature. This web is going to hit Kaz, Bumfuzzle, and Win, the three that were kind of looking at this body. And as it kind of shoots up your leg, it kind of feels like electricity, but not really. It's like paralyzing your legs. I need you guys. I need you to make a reflex save for me.
That's my second one in a row.
Oh boy.
Not Miles's night.
Bad times.
I've got a 15.
Oh, that's good times.
Yay!
Button puzzle and Kez a 9.
Got a 9.
Bet you wish you had those rerolls. Betcha. This is indeed acid damage coming at you. Only 4 points, and Bumfuzzle, you're only taking 2. But you.
Oh, so is it partial on a successful reflex save?
It is indeed.
Ooh, I take none.
Oh, you level 2 characters. I hate you so much. That also means you don't get a pretty nasty condition called dazed.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
No, so we're dazed if we didn't pass that?
That is correct. Both Kaz and Win, you are basically paralyzed. Dazed means you can't act normally. You take no actions. You are not. There's no penalty to your AC, but it's like you're frozen in place. This thing is has got you trapped in its sticky web. This ability is called Synaptic Shockweb. Like it very much. It's why I made this creepy slug-like creature. That was its surprise round. As I said, you guys didn't see this bad mammoth jamma. Let's go into turn 1, and Kaz can't move at the top of the turn order.
Do we know how long this affects us?
You do not, but as per the rulebook, days typically lasts a turn.
Okay.
Typically.
Unless it uses it over and over again. Yeah.
Oh, it definitely doesn't have that capability, right? So you cannot do anything. So we're on to either Talara or Nikithi. Now, you guys are both kind of towards the back here and have both rolled a 15. Does one of you want to jump into the initiative, or do you want to roll off?
Rebecca can go. That would be fun.
You be okay with that?
After you, Nikithi. Okay, yeah, I can go. I am really scared of this thing. I'm not sure what to do except to summon a demon. It's like the only thing I know to do.
The old standby.
Closer, tiny demon.
All
So
right.
I think I'm gonna start a summon.
Okay, and being a backup party, it's probably a good place to do that. Nikithi, onto you.
Nikithi is going to first off have Idis move forward and attack this bad thing to test its defenses. And then while Idis is attempting to make an attack, he is going to attempt to identify the creature. We'll do the attack part first. That's more fun.
And Idis is coming up to make a bite attack.
The way you make that say that, the way you say that, no.
Okay. You've moved her right next to this creature. You're making a range attack next to it?
Oh, I meant to make a melee attack, but then you said that thing, and now I don't want it.
Well, I just need you to make up your mind.
Fleam. All right, melee attack. Go, Idis! Believe in you, girl. Oh, I shouldn't have believed. That's a miss. Rolled a 6.
Definitely a miss. This thing, your drone is trying to get a hold of it in its mouth and just slips right out. Slippery like an eel. Hence the slime.
Oh, too much slime.
Yeah, you want to try and identify it?
Yes, I'm assuming it is life science.
Yep, indeedy.
All right, I am pretty good at that. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be one of those days. I rolled 2 6s in a row. 14 on the life science check.
Nope. You've not seen this thing before. You've maybe heard of similar style invertebrates, but I can tell you out of character, this is indeed something I made for Paizo called a synapse worm.
I don't like it, but I respect it.
It's great. It's got so many abilities. I can't wait to use them all. But first, it is Bumfuzzle's turn. Not Dazed. You just kind of like backflip off the edge of the wing and get out of its messy goop. What do you want to do?
Let's see. So is this space back here behind it difficult terrain?
It's a little bit of vines and things kind of hanging from the top, but it will not impede your movement there.
Okay. Then, so I'm going to sort of run sort of up around this thing. Mm-hmm. And as I'm coming, I'm going to pull out a bunch of leaves out of my pocket.
Oh, the leaf pocket.
You thought I wouldn't need leaves, but I pull the leaves out and I throw them onto this sticky worm. And I stick the leaves onto it and I say, "That's what you get for being sticky."
The baby Hopgar pops out of that pocket and like throws one small leaf in its direction.
Yeah. I pick them up, put them back in real quick, and then I'm gonna slice at that weird tongue thing that I don't like. I don't like it.
It's my favorite part of this creature. Please don't hurt it.
Don't worry, Patrick. I got you, man. I won't hurt it.
Did you roll a engineering check?
I didn't, but then I forgot and I rolled the attack and it was a natural 2. So I'm good.
Kind of. Well, does it get an attack of opportunity if you fail the engineering check?
No. I just designate it before I move.
Oh, right.
Then yeah,
that was before because I wanna bite someone. Wen is also out for the count. Dazed this round. Giant bear, take him with you. Can't do anything. Which means it is the synapse worm's turn. And don't worry, I'm just going to roll random dice. There's nothing to look into here. Okay. And let's see. It's going to guarded step back, I think. It is going to send out its sticky web again. It is an ability you can use multiple times based on D4 per round. And I did roll a 1 on that D4, so I believe this is going to Idis and Bumfuzzle now. If you can both make me a reflex save.
Yee! Ow. I rolled an 8.
Oh boy.
What did you roll?
Roll a 3.
All right, more acid damage coming your guys' direction. Ooh, 8 points this time. And you are indeed both dazed now. That is turn 1. We're on to turn 2. And at the top of the order, Kaz, you're back in the fight. I was trying to get you in the second synaptic.
I know you were.
But, I was looking at every 15-foot cone in the book. But no, nothing.
So is this worm on the wing or is it on the ground? Where it is on the map?
It is indeed kind of squirming across the wing now, which is, like I said, kind of buried in the earth. So
okay. So if I move right here, I could still attack it.
Where are you moving?
So you're moving right in front of it?
Right in front of it.
Past a threatened square? Yes, you can. And it will get an attack of opportunity.
Bring it on.
Oh, okay. It sounds like you want this now, which is now making me rethink attacking. No, it's definitely going to bite you. Oh, boy. Natural toot. Oh, no, I don't like it. I don't like the first natural, or first D20 I have to roll to attack this thing. It's not great. So it misses. I can guarantee you that.
All right.
Attack time.
Entropic Strike. That is going to be a 12.
Against EAC is a miss. The game is afoot, everyone. Talara, we're on to you, and it's that time again.
It's that time again. I've got my...
Is it short stuff?
Yeah, short stuff. Short stuff is coming out. And is going... Can I go right up underneath the wing on the other side?
I knew where you were going. Yeah. I already put the token down because I knew we were getting a flanking buddy with Cass.
Yeah, of course. And he's going to make a full attack.
Oh,
so
boy.
Let's see how this goes.
You're good about these full attacks with your demons.
We need it.
Oh, no. Natural one. For Tiny Demon.
Oh.
What does that mean as far as crit fails go?
I mean, I think we should use them. It's kind of going off your ability. We use it for a crit hit. So, obviously.
It's only fair, I guess.
Bad things are happening with Tiny Demon. Maybe it won't be that bad.
Tiny Demon, you are our only hope.
I'll give you the option. Do you want to use our fan-created critical failures, or do you want to use the new deck from Paizo.com?
Let's switch it up and use the new deck.
Yeah, these are pretty fun. Bad stuff can happen, but there's no JJJ.
I was about to ask, did it right for them too?
This is a kinetic attack your Tiny Demon is throwing out. Mm-hmm. And this one is called Sprained Splugathrox. They're making up words here. You are overburdened until a successful medicine check to treat deadly wounds to restore any of your hit points or receive magical healing. So the overburdened condition, I believe, gives some minor negatives to the Tiny Demon.
Yeah, Tiny Demon's bringing a lot of baggage from the demon realm with him this time.
Oh, now I imagine him with little adorable suitcases. Overburdened, speed's reduced to 5 feet, and your maximum dex bonus to armor class is reduced to +0. You take it -5 on strength and dex-based checks, but we're not done because there is an extreme melee on this card. Oh no, this will not affect the stupid Tiny Demon. There's an extreme melee.
Don't call my Tiny Demon stupid.
Well, it doesn't have any weapons. The extreme melee is called Fling with an exclamation point, and it reads your weapon flies 3d4 squares in a random direction. 3d4, that could be like 60 feet away.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that it's Tiny Demon that got the crit fail and not Talara.
Okay, well, that's just one attack, though.
Yeah, this is my second attack. That's a 20. Well, it'd be an 18.
That's a hit.
That's a hit with 8 damage.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. This thing doesn't like that at all.
Tiny
Next up,
Demon was angered, so.
next up is Nakithi. You're like tapping your mechanics control orb, and Itis doesn't seem to be responding.
Yes, he's already seen this happen to, Win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all he's going to try and do is maybe lay down some harrowing fire. He has a laser pistol, and so he's just gonna shoot that and try to get the bad worms' attention, make it easier to hit.
Okay, give us a roll. Let's see how the dice.
The dice think that it does not happen.
Oh no. Yes, 9 on dice. That is a miss. Next up, Bumfuzzle. Ooh, frozen in place by the synaptic shock web. Yeah, you're not looking out on 2 of those. But Win is back in the fight, Miles.
Yeah, so Win's gonna pop up and confront the worm.
Crawling on top of the wing, getting ready for an attack.
Yep. And then I'm going to use my junk sensor.
Go right ahead. Let's see what happens.
In the smack.
Oh yeah.
We're rock rollers.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm quitting this show.
I am loving your guys' dice rolls tonight.
Good night.
Some baddies, not some goodies. Okay.
Rerolls or bonuses from the convention?
No, not a single one.
Dang it.
All right, let's see what happens with this creature's ability. Oh no! All right, so he can't use this ability. It is going to instead double attack, and let's send. Actually, the only thing that's really hurt it so far is tiny demon. I think it's double attack against tiny demon time. Okay, what is the tiny demon's KAC, Rebecca?
12.
At this level, a 12 with overburdened, though. I think that drops it down just a little bit. Let's see. Well, actually, I don't believe that the conditions can technically apply to summoned creatures, if my memory of the rules is correct. I'm going to say this is like a maximum of a -2 penalty, being, like having trouble like keeping up flying. With that said, I think the second one is going to be a hit too. I've rolled an 18 and a 4. So let's do some damage. And this first one, actually, it automatically grabs on to the demon and just kind of like jumps up, and you see these little nubs along its side as it bites into it, kind of latch on, just applying itself like a piece of tape to the demon. And let me roll some damage. So it is, for the second one, the second attack, grappled by this creature. Okay, so the first attack is 8 points of damage, and the second, oh boy, is 10. So that is 18 in total.
Yeah, it's dead.
Good, because I didn't want another double attack from this.
Demon fizzles out of existence.
I think that's my first demon kill. They're usually not here long enough. Okay, and that's its turn, which brings us back to Kaz.
Really, really wanted that flanking buddy, but it's okay.
Thank goodness. Well, you could guarded step and have Win flank with you. That's up to you.
But I'd rather make 2 attacks.
Oh, you're gross.
First attack for an entropic strike. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
That's a hit against EAC.
I will do bludgeoning damage for that, for 4 damage.
Okay, all right. Still up, obviously.
Attack number 2. That ain't going to do it. That's going to be a 6.
Oh, get that out my face. Let's see. We are back to Talara. No demon to roll this turn. What she got?
Does anyone have any conditions right now?
That last turn, I think a couple people were bolted in place by its shock web, but you see them kind of snapping out of it, Idis and Bumfuzzle. So
Okay, cool. Let's see. I don't have a whole lot to do. I'm gonna shoot my gun at it.
Okay, just bring a laser pistol.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up a bit so that Win isn't in my way. So I'll come and stand next to Nikithi.
It's a wise decision.
And laser pistol. That's a 13.
You needed to move because that is just a hit.
Oh, good. And that does 2 damage. Go me.
Every little bit helps, as I say. Nikithi, Idis is back in your control. What do you want to do?
Nikithi is going to command Idis to help Win out. So she's going to move around, get alongside Kaz on the other side of him, flanking with Win.
Yeah. So that will indeed, I think, corner to corner, flank with the giant bear.
Good. He's going to make a few quick adjustments to her melee attack to try and negate the slime. And then have Idas try again, but with a +2 bonus. Oh my gosh! Why would I ever be good at this game? Who knows?
Natural 2s are good if you like low numbers. They're second best, basically. Anything Nakeethi wants to do? Okay, then that brings us to Bumfuzzle, back in control of his facilities, his capabilities.
All right, I'm gonna throw down a smoke bomb, and I'm gonna move away. And here comes an engineering check to see how good my smoke bomb was.
Oh God, I saw it wanted to be a natural 20.
I know,
so close.
So that'll be a 24 on that check.
Success.
Okay. And then I'm gonna shoot my laser pistol.
And that is a thing that you have.
Oh, that was a 20, and then
I saw
the
that.
D4 hit it. No,
Oh, that was nonsense.
Digital dice.
that was baloney, is what that was. All right, yeah. So that's only a 9 to attack.
4 on the dice is a miss. Win.
All right, so Win is going to look at this creature and just snarl, "Get him!" And so now I'm flanking, and I have get him. I'm going to try to whack it with my junk sensor.
Yeah, massive El Kabong.
+3, that's a 15 to hit.
Oh, that's a hit.
No, actually, that's +3 to that, so it's 18 to hit. But for 6 points of damage.
Alrighty, still up. It's taken like 4 or 5 hits and it's just now like thrashing about, kind of like brackish blue, black blood spilling. And it wants to use its web ability again because it took me forever to write this and you guys are just going to murder it in 5 seconds. But I think I'm just going to try to attack you guys instead.
I use the web ability. How dare you?
We got Idas here. We've got Win. Win's done a good deal of damage. I think an attack against Win. We'll see how we're doing, but maybe attack Kaz. I definitely want to eat the bear though. First attack. 4 on the dice. No, I don't think that's a hit. Let's do number 2 against you as well. 10 on the dice. What is your KAC?
My KAC is 13.
Right, so it does turn into ankle biter mode. It kind of sinks like a row of sharp shark-like teeth into your leg. For 8 points of damage. Piercing, if it matters.
Okay.
And that is turn 2, and we're back to Kaz.
Kaz is going to once again go for 2 entropic strikes against this baddie. Strike the first. That is a 15 to hit.
Plus get him?
That does include get him, yes.
Okay. Against EAC is a hit.
Yes, for bludgeoning damage. For 4 damage. Sorry, should have said that.
4, it's still up.
I would love to roll a little bit better than that, Kaz. Come on, let's do this. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
Yes, even better.
For a whopping 5 bludgeoning damage.
You punch this thing into worm goo.
Yes!
Into fish bait.
Worm dust.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You come up, just your armor, your hands completely covered in tongue and goop and gross synaptic fluid. But you're alive and out of combat.
That worm juice looks like it would be great fertilizer for the little compost pile I have going in my pocket. So I just go ahead and scoop up a little bit of that and put it in my pocket.
In 2 episodes, Bumfuzzle pulls some worm juice out of his pocket.
I mean, I'm just saying, a nice slippery goo would be real helpful.
Bumfuzzle's got to smell just amazing, right?
I mean, inside my environmental protections, I smell great.
Ew, gross. Coming soon, a Bumfuzzle trick attack where you're like, have some synapse worm babies. Gross.
Is there anything now that the thing is dead that Nakeethi might be able to learn about its body?
I don't know. You're pretty gross in dissecting hobgars and stuff earlier on the planet. You can dig into this thing and later on find out a little bit more about it. It does does seem to be mindless. You don't see much of a gray matter in the creature, but
So I'm just imagining like Itis is holding out like a little tray of tools for he is cutting off like bits and bobs, pulling out parts that he finds interesting, and as he's doing it, he's just kind of talking out loud to the people kind of surrounded around the body, and he says, "We must be careful. There is much about this planet we still do not understand. Plants, animals, and more importantly, to be continued."
Anakithi, to be continued.
You got me.
Yeah. We're ending it on a high point. I thought about throwing 3 or 4 of these things at you, and I was like, no, let's do it. Let's do it how the AP says, and not answer
And not
Patrick's
just-
many wishes. Yeah.
Not just like TPK this podcast.
Wrote these things. I wrote them like a year and a half ago. So I've had like 2 birthdays since then where every time I blow up my candles on that cake, I'm just like, I want the synapse worm to kill a PC. Would be too perfect. But yeah, I was happy that this guy made it in here, and I love making lower level monsters because it's usually more likely that you'll see them used, or maybe later on you'll find like 6 of these things, like a whole pack of them coming at you, and we'll have that hour-long combat.
I gotta say, the goo is just like skeeving me out. I don't like it. I don't like these things. Good job, Patrick. Good monster.
Nikithing is just scooping goo into vials, and he's like, "Oh, for later."
This seems like a Nikithi kind of project. Seems like you'd recreate this kind of gross thing.
Later, back on the Phoenix Express bit, you'll see him applying some kind of gelatin to like a piece of bread, and if you ask him what it, you might not like the answer.
It's my pet. I've heard from fans of the podcast running through this AP that they domesticated it and turned it into a pet, like a ship mascot.
Ew. Wow. That's so messy. Like, can you imagine cleaning up after this thing?
Well, we had 2 goblins on our show in season 1, so
That's
I feel
true.
like-
And they smell like compost, and that's canon now.
They have brains. This doesn't even have a brain. How?
That is true. What's easier to control, I guess.
Like maybe.
We could talk about this creepy creature all night long, but we'll save it for when we talk about this entire AP. You guys have made it to the Royal Venture. What do you think lies in store for you next week?
Bad thing.
Yeah, more bad things.
You are incorrect. Badder things than this exist inside. This is just the taste test of this new map. But we'll have to wait, unfortunately, to find out about that next time. Until then, thank you guys for playing with me.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Oh, and say have a synapse worm. Good night.
Have a synapse worm. Good night, everybody.
Rolls
Good
off the tongue, doesn't
Nah.
it?
Not quite.
No.
See you next week.